Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome aboard another Three Strands Talks live stream. Coming to you live from, I'm not going to tell you where I'm at because that might be a bad idea, although some of you already know. But I am so excited about today. And to be honest, I've been fretting it a little bit because I didn't take as much time to put detail into this as I normally would because I felt like our guests were going to add enough color without me doing anything extra. So let me go ahead and pull them in. Welcome aboard, Craig and Leanne, otherwise known as Flip Flopping Adventures.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning to us. Good afternoon to you, if I'm speaking correctly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, it's good to have you guys here. We got a couple of hellos here real quick. Donna Kay, thanks for coming in. I'm glad you got your coffee. I got my bottled water because we all know I get streamer's voice from time to time, and I need a little something to knock it out. And then let's see, we got Rubicon Girl. Welcome in. Glad you're here.
Rubicon.
Hi, Rubicon.
Yeah. So, and in case y'all didn't know, JC is setting sail on Harmony this afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
And he is streaming live that departure. So I'll probably be splitting streams a little bit, but we got to watch him take off.
Oh,
absolutely.
Lone Star, welcome in.
Hi, Lone
Star. Hi.
Heather Lee.
Hey.
Hey.
Hi, Heather Lee. Welcome in. I'm glad you're here. So, yep, they show up for us, don't they?
They absolutely do.
Good morning, Jetty. Welcome in.
Yeah. He's just landed a new video and had a chance to watch it, but he's just landed.
I got the preview a little bit. I need to sit down and watch the rest of it, but it's pretty good what I've seen so far. So
hey, BK.
BK, welcome in. Welcome in, guys. You guys are doing me a great honor by being here.
Luke,
I'm crazy. They are on the road.
Wow, look,
they're in Maryland.
They're on the road and she's still able to chime in. So thanks.
Is anyone jealous of the fact we're in London? Because I'm jealous of all these amazing places that you're all coming from.
Well, I'm only jealous because I ain't never been there.
Oh, well,
you know. You're gonna have to come. She's got friends now.
Hello, Albert. Yeah, that'll be it. You know, my girls were just over in. Hi, Randy Lee. Thanks for coming in. Welcome. Stick around for a little bit. Hey guys, if you haven't done so already, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really does help grow the channel. And subscribe because and I'm going to add one more thing. Make comments.
Yeah.
Especially if you're watching the replay. I can't tell who's watched afterwards.
Yeah.
But if you make a comment, I will reach back out to you in those comments and respond. And also, I'd like to ask you to use the comments as a way to ask questions, give show suggestions. If you just have something you want to say about a cruise you've been on, or if you're interested in coming on and talking about a cruise you've taken, that's part of what I really want to do here. I want us to relate our own stories of the things we've done on cruise ships because I think everybody can learn from that.
Absolutely. Learn whether it's for you, not for you, different cruise lines. We've learned so much from the community.
Nicole,
Nicole, how are you?
Hi, Nicole.
And Rubicon is
in Daytona
Beach, home of Bucky's.
We were there in April. Rubicon.
I've still got Bucky's cup somewhere.
Megan's jealous of London.
Welcome in, Gina.
Yeah, transportation in London compared to Florida, certainly Florida, which is the only part of the States we've done, is so definitely far, so far. I'm going to Washington in October, which I'm excited about.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's not a cruise, but a conversation.
It has been a long time since I've been to DC, but I remember vaguely some of the memories I made there. I went with my dad.
Oh, wow.
And he wanted to just go to see the Vietnam Memorial, which in itself was awesome at the time. It was fairly new back then also.
Yeah.
But he was one of those guys that once he saw what he wanted to see, he was done.
He was off.
And so like that. Now I will admit that I walked him to the Lincoln Memorial, then we walked all the way back up around the reflecting pool to the Washington Memorial or Monument. And he looked at me, he said, okay, I'm ready to go back to the room. I looked at him and I said, are you crazy? And they still have it. Back then they had a hop on hop off kind of shuttle thing.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called now, but it was like $15 for the day, and they went around to all the historical areas.
Good.
So I went and saw a few more of the buildings, and I spent the rest of my day at the Air and Space Museum at the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
And honestly, I could have spent the whole day in there and probably been very, very happy.
Well, I'm very excited. There's lots of stuff to see. I'm only there for 4 days, but it'll be brilliant. BK, I just laughed at your comment. BK's commenting on the Cookie Gate saga of the legend. It honestly was one of the highlights for me. I haven't laughed like that in a long time.
Well, and you're not alone, because I'm sure you guys know Emma Cruises.
Yeah.
And, she is all about her cookies, let me tell you. Welcome in, JC.
Nice.
Thanks for taking time out of your cruise day to say hello. We
Yeah.
appreciate it. We're going to do the same for you in a few hours. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're jealous of everybody in the States, but there's nothing more jealous than JC.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Someone has just told me I've got to go to the Megan, Smithsonian Zoo to see the giant pandas. We were really lucky, actually, Megan, and that if I've got time, I absolutely will do that. But we went to Edinburgh, and we went to Edinburgh Zoo, and it was the time they had giant pandas there that they were on loan from, I want to say, Japan, for a limited period, and we managed to see them there. So yeah, that was fantastic. But if I've got time, I definitely will. And
any suggestions on Matthew's comments, if you wouldn't like, you can always pop in and have a look, or on our channel, any ideas of things that we watch in Washington. Unfortunately, I didn't get the invite, so I'm left back at home, unfortunately.
He's run out of annual leave. So in the UK, we have paid time off, and I think it works slightly differently in the US. And he's run out of it, and I haven't. So we're off to. I'm off to Washington.
Okay,
but that's not what we're here to talk about.
No, it's not. Real quick, I just want to say, hey, Mark's Music Obsession, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you being here and your support. Yeah, Jetty, I saw that. That's cool, and I think you're supposed to be there for our departure in November. So hopefully we can meet up while we're there. I had a crazy wild hair idea with JC last week, but I'm not going to try and do it because Legend actually arrives in the Port Everglades the Saturday before we leave, the day before we leave on Seashore.
Oh, really?
And he looked at me. He's like, "You want to go see her come in?" I'm like, "Well."
Oh, that would be incredible.
But I wouldn't do that to him. I wouldn't do that to myself. I think that's just too much to squeeze in.
Yeah.
In such a short time. I do think Chase said he was going to try and go down and see it, and that's on him if he's not back in time to get the hot dogs. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
well, she's a beauty of a ship if anyone does get to see her.
Yeah. So I'll hopefully see her one of these days, but that is what we're here to talk about.
Yeah.
So my first question is, when and how did you come about making the choice to do this sailing? And it was the inaugural sailing, correct?
The story is crazy. So because of Craig's paid time off, as I've said, he didn't have much holiday left this year. So we did the transatlantic in April, which I'm sure a lot of you know about. So we had 3 weeks off then. And the Legend of the Seas was coming to Europe. And we were really excited that Royal Caribbean had decided to put one of the Icon class in Europe, because they're normally in the States, and it means a big holiday for us. And we'd booked on a 3-night sailing in October. And it was because of your paid time off.
Yeah,
you had 3 days left, and it fitted.
Yeah.
And we were paying a lot of money, more than we probably wanted to pay. To go on a 3-night sailing.
Well, we're happy to share. It was costing us for 3 nights on was it an infinite balcony still?
No,
it was.
It wasn't an infinite balcony.
It was costing us about 1,800 UK pounds, which is about just under about $2,400. So,
it was a lot of money, but we knew it was in its inaugural season. We didn't have any other option in terms of paid time off. It fitted with what we wanted to do, so we booked it. So that was the plan. We were going in October, little 3-night from Rome to Naples. It was going. And then when we went on the transatlantic, and we've told a few people this in chats, we had a budget in the casino. We spent our budget in the casino. We spent everything we won in the casino, and we managed.
We don't want to know how fast that happened, though.
Yeah,
a 14-night cruise.
Yeah,
it's hell of a budget.
We managed to make Prime, and if you make Prime on, go on.
No. This is like what JC was talking about.
Yeah,
last week.
Absolutely. I'm not going to labour on that point, but when you get to a certain number of points on a cruise, there's a little QR code. You scan it, and you can see what cruise offers you can get, and you can get a free cruise offer from about 600 points. And I looked when we got to Prime, and I was like, Craig, they've got a 7-night Legend sailing on the 4th of July. I was like, shall I ring and get a price? And he was like, but I don't have any time off. And I'm like, nah, take it unpaid. Come on. We might get 7 nights instead of 3. So I rung up the casino line while I was on board. And I was like, if me and my husband wanted to do this, how much it's going to cost me? And they were like, oh, we can do you an infinite balcony for £600. And I'm like, sold, we're going. Yeah. You take some paid time off and we're still going to save money compared to what we were going to pay in October. And at that time, we didn't even know it was the inaugural. We were just like, yay, we've got 7 nights on the 4th of July. And then when I told him, 4th of July is its first sailing. I was like, what?
Well, yeah, we were super lucky. Not only is it inaugural sailing, but obviously it's Independence Day, so it's kind of a triple.
It was brilliant. Really, but, so it was a mixture of things. It wasn't particularly that sailing we wanted, but we wanted to experience an icon, and because it was in Europe, we were like, we can't miss this opportunity because we know it's going to go back to the States, and who knows when we'll get another one here in Europe. So sorry, Alberta, you've put, I figure, bigger ship, bigger price. I think it is because it's new. They have to pay for it somehow. So I think the Icon has always been a lot more than some of the other ships that leave the same port on the same itinerary.
Similar
I think you just have to expect it. And I think Royal's good because they have other options. If you don't want to spend that much, they do have other options, which are just as good.
But there's so much chat around the Icon class that that's why we
just wanted to give it a go.
Why we did it, because I think for everything, and regardless of cruise company, you just want to try something, don't you? And I don't think you can judge it until you try it, and that's why we did.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to ask. Good morning, Jessica. Thank you for coming in.
Good morning, Jess.
We really appreciate your support. Thank you very much.
Happy Saturday.
Yeah. Give me your first impressions of the Infinite Balcony, because I've heard a lot of yays and nays about it.
Absolutely. First impressions, I loved it. It didn't stay that way for me.
It is a real
we'd say Marmite
here, or Australian would be Vegemite, or it's
either love it or you hate it.
I think there is, with every cabin, this one I think we found there is so many good elements to it. You kind of also need to think about what type of a cruiser you are, Matthew, as well. I think some people will, there's a lot of people who will buy a normal balcony or sail on a normal balcony, but never really get the use out of it. Mm-hmm. So initial impressions are, I think we believed it was a little bit smaller than a normal balcony, but I agree. We really liked it. In the first, when you look at it, I think it looked really cool, didn't it?
Yeah, it looked really cool. And when you walk in the room, I think the cabins on the Legend seem slimmer than on other ships. And I think that's just where they've tried to put more in.
Yeah.
But when you initially walk in, the extra footprint that Infinite Balcony gives you inside the cabin when the window's shut makes it feel a lot bigger.
Okay.
And I said, Craig, imagine if the balcony door was where the footprint starts. This room would feel really small. It would feel smaller than other balcony cabins we've been in. And so our first impression was like, oh my God, we've got so much space. This looks brilliant. The chairs are really comfy. We can sit there if we want to read our books, etc. and so on. As the week went on, I knew we'd have this problem and I was fearful of it. I'm a heat seeker. He's an aircon seeker.
Yes.
So quite a lot of the time when we're going back for a couple of hours in the afternoon where you're chilling out before dinner, I'll go and sit on the balcony, shut the door, read my book. He'll sit on the bed, watch telly, aircon on. and it's perfect. You can't do that in an infinite balcony. You bring that window down, the aircon goes off.
Right.
So you're either window open, hot air coming in, or window up, aircon on.
Absolutely. And I think so heavily just put in there that I think we don't want to get too, because Matthew's asked initial impressions, but I think if you are a balcony user, I agree with Heavely's kind of said, no, it wouldn't be for you. I would agree.
Yeah.
I think if you are one of them, and do you know what? There's a really silly kind of niche thing that I do, and I guess a lot of other people do. I really miss the fact of being hanging with the smalls, some of the washing when you're sailing. There's one thing that you couldn't do was hang your washing up outside to dry.
Yeah.
It's really small, but I think, if you're a balcony lover and user, I would say I agree. And lastly, we were on the fence about an infinite balcony ocean view. I would even be even more on the fence if it was in a neighbourhood, as in an inwardly facing, like on a
They do them.
Yeah.
Infinite balconies.
They do, yeah.
Yeah, I would.
It does seem like that.
To the balcony, yes, Randy. So what would be the balcony is part of your room, and it's got 2 chairs and a table, and then the window comes down halfway to create that balcony feel, but it has no door.
I'm going to do a little bit of shameless here, Randy Lee, but if you do fancy going onto our channel, we do have a 60-second room tour.
Yeah,
we do. And there's others available, of course, if you want to have a look around and gives you a bit more of a feel.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of a balcony person too after sitting on one for 5 days.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure I would be I would almost rather take an inside no windows cabin and sleep all night long, because I can always find a spot on the deck to sit and watch the surf and the scenery.
And I think, Matthew, that's a really good point, that actually obviously on this was a casino comp for us, so that was really different. But I think that the upcharge between the infinite and an interior, as you say, I think I don't think it would be worth it. Do you see what I mean? So if I was willing to pay for I think the distance between an infinite balcony and interior, I think I would agree that we wouldn't be more than happy with. Even an ocean view would have done us. But
2 things in the comments, Matthew. Was it BK? No, Jetty said he had an infinite and loved it, so they enjoyed it. It just depends, like Craig said, probably what type of cruiser you are as to whether you're like it.
There is one thing about, and obviously we don't want to get directly into it, but there is something about almost an unobstructed view from your bed with one of the really great ocean views.
Yeah,
that's really, especially even if the window is down, it's a beautiful view, because But one of the things we like to do is we certainly, because we're Brits and we don't get the weather normally, we certainly would, with the exception of Norway, because it was bloody freezing. We normally leave the doors open and just let the white noise come in. You don't quite get it so much on there. So we are really 50-50 with it.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm crazy asked a question about the elevators, if you don't mind me answering that. So how did we find the elevators? Are they better than other RC ships? So for those that don't know, there's no buttons inside the elevators on the Icon class ships. When you approach the elevators, there's a touchpad. You select what floor you're going to, and it tells you what lift, A to F, I think.
Yeah, well, there's 12 of them, so that is 12 of them.
No, I don't know. It was longer than that, J, I think.
Yeah.
So it tells you what elevator to go to, which one's going to be there first for your floor, and which ones, it doesn't go direct to your floor, but will go to your floor first. We didn't wait. We had once. We pressed the button. It said there's no available elevators, and that was when we'd all left the ice show.
Yeah, and I think
we'd all left at the same time.
Megan's comment was, I think that you have to split it into 2. In the main, 90% of the time, a really short wait, really not crowded, wouldn't it?
No.
All of the, I think the only time, and I don't know how any cruise company gets around it, is as soon as you come out of any type of show, as humans, we generally gravitate to the nearest elevator. And that's the only time that you've had to wait for one. And that's it.
Yeah.
But as JC said last week on the stream, and it's right, if you just walk another, Legend is quite a long shit. But if you just go to the other side, normally they're on the other side of the atrium or the
lift lobby,
then you'll get one. So,
and also just a tip for people that are on the icon class, which it didn't dawn on me to about day 3. If I walk up and press what level I'm going on, that elevator thinks there's one of me, but obviously there's him and me. And we were seeing 5 or 6 groups of 5 or 6 come in and pressing the elevator button once. If you're in a big group, you all need to press that floor so the elevator knows there's going to be 6 of you in that elevator. Otherwise, it's going to come. Right. And there's going to be too many people in it and you're not going to be able to get on. So just a little tip from us.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, because Seashore has the smart elevator as well. So you have to actually push the button for everybody in your party.
Yeah.
So that the elevator knows how many people to expect to get on.
Absolutely.
And I keep thinking, oh, that'll be fun when the kids get on one to push all the buttons, and then they end up on a floor they weren't aiming to go to in the first place.
That probably happened many times.
I'd have to crack up laughing in their face on that one. I'm sorry. I wouldn't be able to hold back. So,
and it was tend to be groups of kids, in all honesty, that would come in and just pressing it once, and then 7 of them getting in the lift, because I don't think they understand either. So it didn't actually cause us a problem. We never had a lift turn up that we couldn't get in.
No.
I just imagine it could be.
I think it was initially, I remember it going back on a stream ages ago. It was Cruising Amy. If some people might know out there, she's Cruising Amy's the one who put it on there, and the one who really clarified about pushing the how many people, how many times, and it really makes a big difference.
Rubicon just said she's going on her first Royal cruise in October. What would you suggest for first timers? We'll be cruising on the Harmony. So Rubicon, our first ship was the Harmony, and we fell in love with Royal. And apart from myself, I've done 2 Virgin cruises since, but we've only done Royal Caribbean. So you might be setting yourself up for a bit of you might get in trouble by doing a Royal Caribbean.
Well, you
never know.
We could spend such a long time, Rubicon, talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, honestly, I'm kind of hoping JC will come on after his cruise and talk about his experience.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. The Harmony,
because he'll have a very fresh perspective, especially after the refit that she went through.
Yes. And our daughter's going on next September, so she'll be on it after the refit, and we were obviously on it before.
Yeah, cool.
There's Donna just asked a quick question. Sorry, Matthew, about is there something on the app, on the website? I would really strongly suggest, and if you go to on YouTube, I'm gonna Cruising Amy is her name. Search her. But there is, if you just type in smart elevators icon class, there is a lot of content out there for how to use it. But relatively, it just to really quickly cover, walk up, choose which floor you want to go to. If there's 2 in your party, you press, say, deck number 9 twice. That's it. That's all you need to do, and then you're good to go. So hopefully that'll explain it, Donna. But if not, there's content online.
Yep. So, talk about your dining experiences on board. What did you like? What did you not like? Was there anything you didn't actually get a chance to try?
Yeah.
So,
and by all means, explain the cookies along the way, because we all got to know that part.
I think it's an interesting one, because you would have seen, if you do follow the videos that we've been putting out, generally we are MDR main dining room type people. Generally, with a little sprinkle of speciality dining. Normally, that's what we generally do.
Yeah.
But obviously, as you know, the icon class has added additional included eats. So we did get to go to the main dining room. It's again a bit like the Infinite Balcony. Some people really like the main dining room menu, Matthew. Some people are not big fans. Got to say on this one, for the first time in our when we was on the fence, and obviously because I wasn't very well, the menu, I don't know why it didn't feel in the main dining room. There's a couple of days where we chose to skip it, didn't we?
I think the problem we had with this cruise is that it was 6 weeks after coming off the transatlantic, where we'd been on the cruise for 2 weeks.
Right.
So we were looking at the menus and going,
kind of been
no, I don't fancy that. So, and because Craig wasn't feeling well, we actually ate in the Windjammer for the first. Oh, no spoilers for Heatherly on the cookies.
Oh no,
she hasn't got there yet.
She ain't got there yet.
So yeah, we ate in the.
We'll let her know, and she can mute us for a few seconds.
Yeah. So we ate in the Windjammer for the first couple of nights, which we never normally do, and we can't work out, and we still don't know. They had options on there I've never seen before in terms of seafood, but I think that's because it was an inaugural sailing lunchtime buffet. They also had like a meze section, so they had cold salamis, cheeses, but much more than normal. And I don't know if that's because we were on a European sailing in Italy that they'd upped that, or again if it was because it was an inaugural. So I'd be interested for anyone.
It almost sounds like that might have been a regional choice because they were in the Mediterranean.
That's what I'm thinking.
I think the seafood is a given on the Icon, on because everything, if you are a fan of lobster, and I don't want to go off too much of a tangent, but Royal, depending on where you are, on a normal 7-night sailing, there's one menu that will contain the free lobster option.
Okay.
One night, and you can still only order one. But interestingly, on the Icon Icon embarkation day, there's loads of it, so you can feel go crazy if you want to with shellfish and all sorts, isn't it, on the day? So the Windjammer was great. Not sure if anybody is a fan of it or you've tried it, but the curries, we find the curries, and Brits, we like a curry. The curries on the Windjammer is fantastic.
Yeah.
And
let me say hello here real quick. Hey Megan, welcome in. This young lady sings with me on my worship team at church.
Oh wow! Hello, Megan.
They are talking to me about going on a cruise. Royal Caribbean's one that we're considering, as well as MSC. So,
that would be amazing.
She's probably here to glean some helpful information.
And plenty of people in here.
Welcome in, Megan. I'm glad you're here.
We tried, NDR we've covered, Windjammer we've covered. There's a few other additional options, and one which is a bit of a shout out. They do the Aquadome Market, which, Matthew, you've been on Virgin, and you obviously, like Leanne, as you're aware that how they do there. We don't really know what
it's like a food court, isn't it? They don't have a buffet. And this is where I think the Icon are fantastic. So the Virgin don't have a buffet, and all the specialty restaurants are included. Whereas on the Icon, you've got the buffet, you've then got the Aquadome Market, which is like a food court, but you've also got the main dining room and the specialty restaurants. Admittedly, they're not included. If Virgin could have a buffet as well, I think that would bring it to another level, because what I don't like about the food court places, and this wasn't like it on Royal, but it was on Virgin, is the things are already made up. So if you want to take something out or you don't like that in it, it's already made, and it's a bit awkward to ask. Whereas on the Aquadome Marketplace, it's all included. They've got a Mexican, a tapas, a Korean soul food,
and Southern gumbo. Gumbo was fantastic.
And what we loved about it was it's open till midnight. And normally on Royal Caribbean, when you come out of the casino, the entertainment, wherever you've been,
arcade.
The adult arcade, or you've come out of the entertainment, and you just want a snack. On Royal, it tended to just be Sorrentos and pizza, whereas now, they had a crepe station as well.
Well, I was going to end on that. So right at the very end, which, as you can imagine, a ship full of lots of children, and it weren't just children because we were absolutely in the queue. They have a design your own crepe station, and it was the busiest out of all of them, Matthew, I can promise you.
It was.
It was chocolate and bananas, and that was really, really good, wasn't it? And a great addition. They've also got the Pearl, which is their version of the
Cafe
Promenade. That's got a lot of grab and go stuff, which was really elevated. First time ever, we normally, whenever we go, we make a pit stop en route to the ship, and we pick up crisps, or as you guys would call it, chips. But we didn't need to this time because, we actually took on a big bag, and then found out that I've never seen it on a royal ship before. They're free. So there was certainly on the Icon, there's an awful lot more elevated in terms of choice and breadth of included. The only there was a lot
really
more.
Good tip, BK. I didn't know that. You can get MDR meals to take back to the room if you ask.
Yeah, did you not know that? That's where you see all the people with the plastic covers. Did you not know that?
No, I thought that was all pizza.
That's fine.
I was just eating pizza.
I think the only so we've tried quite a lot of the speciality restaurants on Royal before, so it was only a 7-night, and again it was a bit of a last minute one. So the only one that we did try, and it's not so much, it's a speciality dining, but more of an experience, which was the Royal Railway. It's really hard to say.
Yeah, again, I've heard good things and bad things about that. So what was your experience like there?
Well, as an experience, if you take the food out of it, we put the food to one side, because I think you need to be, and there's no doubt, but I am quite a plain Jane when it comes to food. I'm not horrendous, but and I think it's got quite an eclectic, quite a wide menu, isn't it? You have to try it.
You
have to try it. But the experience, if you put that aside, if you separate the two, the experience is totally amazing. It's worth doing, but I have to say, for us, it will be a one and done. I think it was an amazing experience. And actually, I think if you're going to bring the food into how they've curated the food and put it along the story, is fantastic.
I think
it really sits with it. There's good variety. So the way they do the food isn't just, there's always options. And the first two starters are multiple. I don't know what you want to call it.
There's family style. So you get you share, and you get a bit of. Do we get one each?
No. It's just one.
The starters. No, for starters we got one each of. The curry course was a sharing family style. Then we had a sorbet, and then you had a main that you had to pick from one of 5, and then you got all the desserts. So there was so much food. I think from the main and the desserts were disappointing.
I
don't think they didn't wow me. The curries, the starters were beautiful.
Fantastic.
And the sorbet just wasn't my palate. I just didn't enjoy it.
I think you have to go in with it, as in it. It isn't just about the train journey and the I've forgotten what was the silk road. You have to really take a close eye on that to understand that the menu really does match where you're going, and your kind of tastes need to match as well, Matthew. Because that's
so. In other words, you need to really pay attention to the meal they're putting in front of you and where you are in the story at the same time.
It's curated to go along with it, and I think that's lovely. Would I choose to have a curry with Chinese starters and Italian desserts normally? No, it's sometimes a bit too much, but as a novel new speciality restaurant, I really enjoyed it.
I tell you, if there's any royal fans out there that have done Wonderland, then some of the similar concepts, it follows a little bit of that, but not as crazy in the food. But it's right on the edge of, like, a good example. We're working class people, and I'd never had caviar in my life. But I tried it.
One of the starters had caviar on, and you tried it.
So you got to throw yourself into it, but I don't think it'd be for everyone.
I saw a question earlier on, but we were talking and I missed it. Someone asked if the Aqua Marketplace was the same on every ship.
No,
it's not.
No,
there's different. They're developing them as they go along, I think. For us, we found it really weird. There was a Mexican, because you have El Loco Fresh, which is a Mexican. So we don't know why they used a spot there to put another Mexican grab and go.
Yeah, that doesn't. I saw that on. Brandon put a video out.
Yeah.
And he pointed that out too, and I'm like, why would they do both a specialty restaurant and something you could grab and go of the basically same cuisine.
Yeah, it seemed a waste of a space. They could have put something else in
there.
Well,
if I were on board, I would choose the free option versus the paid off option and use my paid option to try something different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, actually, El Loco Fresh is included.
Matthew. Yeah, that's included.
Oh, that's so true. I forgot
they're both included, and I would choose El Loco Fresh because there's more variety. I don't know why they've decided to use a space in the Aqueduct.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a waste. And Plummer's just mentioned that she'd love to do it, but I would. I mean, only because someone in our car had a particular allergy.
They were fantastic.
And they were fantastic.
Megan.
So, Megan, it might be worth, if you do decide to do it. I mean, the other thing, Matthew, we need to bring up is the Royal Railway, always tough to say, is not cheap.
No.
So, I think it was about $250 a person. Is that about right?
No, I don't think we paid that much. I think we paid about $300 in total.
In total, okay.
For the two of us.
But it's not a cheap, that's not
still on the pricey side. How long did the meal last? Was it like an hour and a half?
90 minutes. And the only reason I remember that is because they told you couldn't go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
They were like, you can't leave and go to the bathroom. You can. If you really need to. A child did, and they saw him off. But I think they don't want people up and down every 5 minutes.
Saw him off. It makes it sound like it's moving.
No.
It really isn't moving, guys.
They took him out to the bathroom and came back. I think what they don't want is everyone on every table getting up and ruining the story and the theme.
Well, that makes sense. It would kind of interrupt the flow of things.
Yeah. And they come and you've got you've got a narrator who's guiding you through and telling you where you are and giving you a bit of the story. And if he's walking up and down and someone's trying to come back from the bathroom. So it's 90 minutes.
So they're the ones we tried. There was loads more extra on there that we didn't. A new concept for Royal is one called Hooked, which is a seafood restaurant. When apart from lobster and shellfish, really, we're not a big fan of it.
No, so we don't like
the only other one I would say, and it's not, we didn't try it on this ship, but if you do go on a Royal, the Izumi Hibachi is probably the best speciality in our opinion on the
Italian.
I
like them both, but Izumi Hibachi is another experience. So it's show cooking in front of you. It's another experience. And then Cookie Gate.
Yeah.
Heatherly, if you want to mute us, now would be the time.
Don't go, but just mute.
Mute and I'll wave when we're done.
I'll
wave when we're done. So I had been told, and I can't tell you who told me this, my favourite cookies. So being a Brit, a cup of tea in the evening with some cookies is my go-to. A hot tea is just elite to me. And I always get cookies. So much so that last year when we did the Independence, I bought 20 of the cookies home to give out to my family because I was like, you need to try these cookies. They're incredible.
We were going straight from the ship to an event.
Though. We were. And I was giving out the cookies to the event.
We ended up with stuffing them in our pockets.
Yeah, no, we were going to a picnic and I was like, I'm going to take the cookies to the picnic. And coconut ones are my favourite. And I had been told by someone, and I can't remember if it was staff, another fellow cruise friend, I don't know, that, high tea, BK, yes, absolutely. That you couldn't get coconut cookies on non-Caribbean sailings. And I hadn't seen them by day 3. Day 2 or 3, I hadn't seen them.
I'm not saying you're absolutely right, but I'm convinced, we're going off. Didn't we have coconut cookies when we done the Norwegian fjords? I'm sure we did. So we should have just rebuffed our own anyway. Sorry.
No, I don't think we did.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. So I hadn't seen them, and we were on about day 3. And as we were walking out of the Windjammer for lunch, Maitre D was just standing there, and we'd just got some cookies. We were going to get a cup of tea. We were going to go and sit on the top deck, and I just got some cookies. So I said to him, can I ask you a question? Can you not get coconut cookies on European sailings? And he looked at me like I was absolutely bonkers. And he was like, what? And I was like, someone's told me you can only get them on Caribbean sailings. And he was like, I don't know. I've never heard that. Let me call the chef. And I was like, no, you don't have to do that. It was just a passing comment. He was like, no. I'm going to call the chef. So he gets his little mobile out, calls the chef, comes back and says, he's going to ring me back. He's going to check. So we stand there with the maitre d' for about 5 minutes, and the chef rings him back. He's like, no, we've got some on board. And the maitre d' was like, right, I'll go and get you some. And I was like, no, I'll just wait until they come out. It's fine. I don't need them immediately. He was like, no, I'll go and get them. So off he went through this swing door into the kitchen.
And we just stood there.
5 minutes passed, 10 minutes passed, and I'm like, Craig, are we going to be here for a full 25-minute bake? Have they put these cookies in the oven just for us? I'm like,
I was watching the video, and before you even said that, my question was, did they go get them out of the freezer and put them in the oven?
And they're going to cook them.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Chef wakes up his cookie apprentice, and then at one point they sent another maitre d' out to take the post of the maitre d' that had gone, and I'm like, oh, what have we done? I would have happily waited for them. So then we were, when you get to that stage where you're like, is he coming back? Like, we've been here for so long.
Yeah, but
we can't leave.
Yeah, we was at the stage of it. Clearly, he's really going above and beyond.
Yeah, so we can't leave. So we can't come out with these cookies and we've gone, but I hope he's coming back. So eventually, I think it was about 15 minutes later, out he comes with this little plate, and he looks so happy, and he takes the lid off and he shows me them, and I'm like, they're not coconut cookies. And he was like, what? And I was like, they're macadamia nut cookies. I've seen them, and they're little white bits in them, and I don't like the macadamia nut ones. He was like, no. He's like, the chef's told me these are the European version of the coconut cookies. They're white chocolate chips in them, not macadamia nuts. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I never realized that. So I took them, got my cup of tea, went up to the top deck and thought, right, I'm going to try this now, see if they're macadamia nut or if they're coconut. Took a bite, immediately knew they were coconut cookies with white chocolate chip. And I'm like, oh my God, these are incredible. Craig sits there and goes, yeah. I'm like, yeah. He went, are these the same as these ones? In the bowl we'd already got, we had 3 of these cookies. There was about 100 of them out on the thing. But I had thought they were macadamia, so I hadn't got any of them.
No, you weren't wrong, because they were labelled as macadamia.
Oh, were they?
They were labelled that. And
I didn't know that.
No, because if it would have said white chocolate coconut, I probably would have picked them up. But I looked at while she's eating, I was like, that looks very, very similar to what is in our plate already. And I'm sure there was about 150 of them there. I mean, I'm surprised he didn't say why he didn't come in and go, by the way, there's 150 of them over there. But he'd worked, but we gave him a really good review because he went above and beyond.
He really did.
I must say, for the whole of that, Matthew, I never had a clue what he meant. He was talking about, this is a European product. I'm like, a cookie ain't a European product. What are you talking about?
It had the white chocolate. I don't know.
Me, but anyway,
BK, thank you for what you said. He was watching the stream on it, and it had him in tears.
Oh, bless, yeah. Well,
I was honestly, it was one of the funniest parts of my cruise.
So then I have to ask: was the cookie you'd already picked up the same one as the one he bought?
Yeah, exactly the same. There was literally, it was identical, but whether or not someone had.
I guess you don't want to go back in and point out, hey, you need to change the label on that because it's wrong.
I mean, reversing because they've gone over the top because they're saying it's got nuts in it. I'm sure it has, but what a debacle it was. But anyway,
I still prefer the ones without chocolate chips, though.
All right, let me ask you one more question about the ship, and then I want to talk a little bit about your ports of call.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one favorite spot on the entire ship, where would it be?
No, that's easy.
Is it?
Oh, it's easy.
Go on then.
So if you go to the very, very front of the ship, and we've all seen it when you see it streams sail away, the dome bit at the front.
Oh, yes.
The dome bit at the front that holds the whole aquadome area. So that's got it's got the aqua theatre in it. To the right, Aquadome Market, but right at the front, and it is, I have to say, I think is probably my most favourite bit on any Royal Caribbean cruise out of the 12 or so we've done, and that is called the Overlook. And it's a massive, where you see at the front of, on the sailway, that massive glass structure, that is all open, and it is just the most amazing view.
Oh, it's incredible.
I mean, it is like,
and the seating they've got
the
there.
seating is really brilliant.
The design, the styling. The only reason it wouldn't be my favorite is it's not outside. And like I said, I'm a heat seeker.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be out on the deck. And if it was open like a solarium, then I would absolutely be in love with it.
But it's got a brilliant coffee place called Ryan Bean, a really great bar. It just, even it's got an animated, what do you call them? Like fish tank. That's what you can.
Aquarium.
Aquarium set into the. It's just a wonderful, wonderful space. And if you notice, whenever we've done a bit of filming, that was probably our
favourite chosen place.
Yeah, definitely.
I will just flip that, Matthew, if I can, before we talk about ports of call.
Absolutely.
The thing I didn't like is there is no solarium. So, being a middle-aged couple with no children, the solarium is our mecca. We're like, we'll go there. It's child-free. Some of it's outside, some of it's inside. There's a pool and hot tubs. You can dip and dip in the pool, get back on your sunbed, read your book. Love it. It's a real oasis on the Oasis class ships and other ones we've been on. They've changed it on the Icon class to called the Hideaway, and I would say the Hideaway is more channeling Virgin again, in terms of it has the pool out there back that looks over the wake, so the infinite pool that looks over the wake. They've got a bar, and then they have Malibu. They have a DJ there as well all day. Now the DJ is not loud, and we spoke to a couple who were away with their parents, and they said the DJ hadn't bothered them, but it is still that type environment where everyone's standing in the infinite pool with their cocktails, listening to the music. They've got the in-water beds as well, which are chargeable, which is fair enough, but I miss that adult only zen that you get on other ships.
I agree. I mean, I have to pick up because it is only, I should have probably chose what I'm about to say rather than the Overlook, because it's on more ships. But the Central Park on Oasis and Icon, there's not Quantum, is just
beautiful.
Because it doesn't have the lookout to the front of the ship. That's the only reason I haven't chosen it. But Central Park is just truly, truly, truly amazing.
Malibu, we love you too.
Yeah, great to see you, mate.
Absolutely.
And he's going on Legend as well, so hopefully we're giving him some.
Well, and he's on with me next week. We're going to talk about cruise ship cuisine.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, I look forward to that one. That would be brilliant.
Trying to find a third person to chip in on that, but I haven't found anybody willing to come on yet.
Oh, wow. We froze for a minute there. We couldn't see you. And BK said that's why they like the balcony, the zen time, the ocean, the wind. And that's what the solarium gives me a little bit, BK, if I want to get out of my room. And I missed that on the Legend. Yeah. And I think, are we going to do final thoughts at the end? Because I have
absolutely.
Okay, I won't do that yet. Then I have final thoughts. We'll do
unless you want to stop now. I hope
not at all.
Well, do you know we can stay here for the evening?
Well, we got family coming around for a barbecue. They'll have to join, but
Well, one thing I noted on Harmony, I guess they actually redid a little bit of the Aquadome, and there is now an open front area to it.
Oh, wow.
That is, it's not covered. It's got full sun. They got a bunch of seats out there. And
wow. That
from what I saw in Brandon's video, that would be a spot I would probably park myself quite a bit.
So you mean where the Aqua Theatre is?
I think that's maybe not the same deck level. I don't know.
Maybe, okay.
I'll have a look. We'll watch Brandon's video.
Yeah, because when we were on the Harmony, and ironically, our daughter's going on Harmony next year.
Yeah.
Ironically, the first time with the Soccer World Cup was on. So it was obviously a while ago, and that was quite open because we managed. Yeah. I don't know, but we'll have to watch it.
We'll have a look.
Okay, so where did you board the Legend at? What port were you in?
This is not going to take long for ports and itineraries, but I'll go with your questions and we'll explain.
Chris, welcome in, bud.
Hey, Chris.
Glad
hey, Chris. So we boarded in Civitavecchia. That's not how you say it, by the way, but it's the port that no one can say, and it's about an hour outside of Rome, in Italy.
Okay.
So we flew into Rome the night before, stayed at the airport, and then got the train into Rome town center, like city center, and then back out to the port. And the only reason we decided to do that is we weren't in any hurry. And I think a taxi from Rome airport to the port was working out about 160 euros. And the train cost us 20 euros. So we were like, let's do it.
That's a big difference. If you got the time, save the money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Would I do it again? Possibly not. Now, it wasn't because the journey was complicated or hard. It was 2 trains. They were easily signposted. The staff helped you, but God, were they busy. And God, were they busy with people going to a cruise that all had massive suitcases. And did they have anywhere to store suitcases? No. Yeah. So on one of the trains, our suitcases we tucked them away, but as the train were moving, they were flying across the carriage.
It was a bit crazy.
So someone was having to put their foot on our suitcase to make sure it didn't hurt anybody, and we felt bad. Yeah. And they were on our cruise anyway, and they were like, "We're fine. We'll just leave our foot here." So I would say if I've got a backpack, heavily, it was the luggage that caused a problem. Like the trains also. They don't terminate where we got on them. So they were only stopped for a few minutes. You're chucking your bags on and stuff. Yeah. I'd do it again if I had carry-on. I wouldn't do it again with a suitcase. I'd pay the money to get a cab, to get a taxi.
Yeah, can ever pronounce
Civitavecchia.
That was tidy little port though, Matthew. It's one of them ports that you can't go directly to the ship yourself. You have to get a transfer bus. And then if you use an external transfer bus, then you need to get another internal transfer bus to get to the
it has port gate.
It has port gates, so but yeah, a lovely little place. We didn't get to see very much of it, did we?
No, we literally flew into Rome, did the taxis.
Yeah.
Glad we didn't go into Rome because it was so hot. So hot, and Rome obviously isn't coastal, and it's old buildings. There's not a lot of aircon. It would have been unbearable.
You're the heat seeker.
I know that would have been unbearable. I mean, for me.
It's a really good point before we get into the other ones. That if you are traveling and you want to do a med cruise, and highly recommend it, but I am not sure that June. Well, maybe July and August
are not the months.
Are not probably the months. I mean, Royal Caribbean blog, Matt Hochberg, who's just he went on the Legend a few weeks, and have you seen it?
Yep.
But he's a Floridian, and he had to cover.
He was complaining about how hot it was.
Yeah, and you're used to heat. The problem is we don't have the infrastructure here, with the aircon and stuff like that. We just don't have it. So we hit in London 102 last week. Not one of our unless you've retrofitted it, our houses don't have aircon.
Yeah, so
they don't.
Wow.
They're built to keep heat in, not I say so.
When you're
hitting 103 and you're trying to sightsee in these amazing places with such history and such incredible buildings, but you can't breathe because it's just so hot. I would say anything up till June or after August.
Unless you're a real heat seeker and you don't mind it, then fine. Cruising Chris M. Yes, thank you. Civitavecchia. That's how you say it.
Civitavecchia.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've said it wrong for the last 2 months.
So we sailed away from Civitavecchia. Lovely. Sounds like a song, doesn't it? It is.
I think that's the teacher and Chris coming out.
Yeah.
Civitavecchia. That's how I'm going to say it now.
Yeah. That's it probably is how you say. And then we had a day at sea initially, and then our first.
Matthew hasn't asked that.
Yeah,
he asked where we sail away from.
Oh, did he? Sorry, I thought he said
he might have more questions.
I thought he asked for the ports of call. Sorry.
No, he might have more questions.
Sorry.
No, you know what? At this point, if you guys just want to run us through it, I'm going to sit back and enjoy.
So, yeah, thank you. So first day at sea, and then our first true port of call would have been Marseille. Now, we never intended to get off of Marseille, and we didn't.
There was two reasons for that, and I want to be completely transparent and completely honest. One, Craig hadn't been well before we went away, and if you watch our videos, you'll find out that hindered a lot of what we tried to do.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I have heard it's not a very nice port. So it's, unless you go on a trip and leave Marseille. My sister-in-law recently went there and said she actually got quite hounded when she got off of the boat by people in the port, and she felt a bit uncomfortable. So we didn't want to on our first day after traveling, and I know it was only a 2-hour flight, but with Craig not being 100%, we decided that we weren't going to do anything in Marseille. Okay. Now, I believe there's a place nearby, another one I don't know how to say cruising, Chris, is called AIX, it's spelled, and that is supposed to be a beautiful town in France, and you can do day trips there, but again, it would have been like an 8-hour day trip, and we just weren't in the market for that. So that was Marseille
we couldn't do, so we can't report back on it. It's only, and we made a decision on someone else's recommendation not to do it. Then the second port of call, unfortunately, which again for reasons beyond our control that we didn't get off at, is Barcelona. Now, you might have seen in our video, it's a bit of a running joke. I've been to Barcelona a couple of times, through friends and just city breaks. Unfortunately, Leanne, how many times now is it?
4. I have been to that city 4 times and never seen it, ever. So I've flown in and out of it 4 times. No, we sailed into it once, and I've flown in and out of it on cruises 3 times, one of them being the Virgin cruise. The Virgin cruise, I went with my daughter, and we were going to do everything there was to do in Barcelona before we boarded. We had loads of time. Oh, it's just X. Okay. Thank you, Chris.
Honestly,
every day's a school day.
It is.
And when we got there, me and my daughter on the Virgin cruise, they had the biggest storm. There was water running down the streets that we didn't leave Starbucks for 6 hours. We just sat in there and just drunk our weight in tea and coffee. So it's a bit of a standing joke. So I had said to Craig before we went, can we please, if we don't do Marseille, can we please get off in Barcelona? I've never seen the Sagrada de Familia, which is the cathedral. Can we just do something in Barcelona, please? I want to go to Barcelona. He was like, absolutely. And then as we talked about it, we decided that it was another city. We have done a lot of cities. So we decided to go to the mountains, a place called Montserrat, which is mountains, and it's got a monastery up there.
It's beautiful. And it looks stunning.
Beautiful. Again, BK is going to give us report cards. Again, the journey, we decided when Craig was poorly before we went that the journey there was going to be too much. So it is simple though. Once you get into the town centre, you buy a ticket that includes all your travel. You get a train and then either a cable car or a vernacular railway up to the monastery. You get your lunch included and then the same return. But again, it's an 8, 9, 10-hour day. It's not quick. So again, on Barcelona port day, we went to the medical centre.
Yeah, we did.
That's what we did on that day because Craig was poorly. But
and then after Barcelona, the next one was
Sea Day,
and then into Palma, Del Mallorca.
Oh no, Palma and then a Sea Day.
Oh, Palma and then a Sea Day. Now, luckily for me, so Palma or Mallorca, I've been going there every year with me and my friend. I've got a trip coming up in literally 3 weeks to go back out there. So I'm really well accustomed to it. But it's a beautiful little island, one of the Balearic Islands in Spain. Beautiful little island. So we decided, I was well enough, that we were going to get off. So we got off. But we done something which we don't normally do, this one. We went off the ship and then straight to a local beach. Because I'm pretty accustomed to the area, I knew quite a nice little beach. So
Calamayor.
Mayor is spelled
Major.
Calamajor. Callamajor. A beautiful little cove. Not overly touristy. but a lovely beach. The sunbeds and the umbrellas are a reasonable price, and there's a couple of different restaurants in there. So yeah, and I mean Mallorca, we ironically done again about,
we did it in April,
3 weeks or 4.
Yeah,
Sorry,
May,
we did it back in May, and we hired a slingshot. So Mallorca, small enough island to get around, very easy to travel around. Either you've got a hire car, or if you want to do an excursion. But a lovely little island.
Beautiful beaches. There's a beautiful cathedral in Palma if you just wanted to go into the town centre. The only thing I would say, and my tip for Palma, if anyone's going there, is get a taxi from the taxi rank as you get off the ship.
Yeah.
Don't order an Uber or a Lyft or anything like that, because you have to go out of the port gate. They're not allowed in the port, and out of the port gate is about a 35-40-minute walk. So I would say get the taxis from the port. They're licensed, and they were actually cheaper than Uber was going to be.
Yeah, and yeah, they were reasonable.
Yeah.
So it's and do you know what, Matthew? It's interesting. There's a couple of ports, certainly when we talk about the Med, is, you know, if anybody's done the Norwegian fjords or a lot of like the Caribbean, where you get off and pretty much there's stuff there as you get off of the port where you disembark. There are quite a few that you have to, you know, apart from some of the Spanish ports that we've done, certainly the more Italian and French, or more the city ones, you really have to travel into. So it's worth considering, because obviously you're a bit of a captive market, certainly when you get off a ship and you've got a rank of taxis. They're not always going to be the cheapest option, but they generally are the best option. So,
absolutely.
So then finally,
we had a sea day. The one thing that when Craig was poorly, I keep saying the one thing I asked him to do. I asked him to do a lot of things, and then we ended up wheeling back and not doing any of them.
Honeydew, BK, honeydew.
Absolute honeydew. Yeah. He's had a big list today. He got it all done this morning. We were going to Cinque Terre in Italy, which is a cluster of 5 villages set into the cliffs along an estuary and coming out of the port. And it looks idyllic. If anyone Googles it, the picture,
please look,
they're colourful houses built into the cliff face, and they just look beautiful. And I said to him, we've never done Italy together. I've been to Rome. We've never done Italian coastal region. No. And I was like, Craig, please, can we just please do Cinque Terre? So we actually booked a Royal Caribbean excursion, which we don't normally do. Complete transparency, we normally book our excursions independently because they're a lot cheaper. This one, however, was an 8-hour excursion. If I'm doing anything more than a half-day excursion, I will book it with the ship. And the reason I do that is because if I don't get back, the ship has to wait. If I do an 8-hour excursion independently, if I don't get back, I become a pier runner.
That's too big of a chance.
Yeah.
We're not designed for running.
We're not designed for running. So,
no.
So if it's a half-day excursion, I tend to do it myself. If it's a full day, we'll book it with Royal. Also with this one, it was a boat trip. It was along the coastal, stopping at 3 of the 5 villages. And this excursion was just Royal Caribbean chartered boat, whereas the other one was a public taxi boat. And we decided that, because again, you not being the most mobile at the time.
Yeah, just logistics.
It would be
really
nice for it not to be a packed tourist boat and a more civilized Royal Caribbean.
So it was a smaller number on the boat, wasn't it?
So we did that, and it was hotter than the face of the sun. I have never been, and I love heat. I love heat.
The Med in the summer.
Yeah, the Med in the summer.
Wow.
On a boat out in the elements. We had a friend that did a trip to a vineyard, and they were on an air-conditioned coach, and they were like, we had a great day. And I'm like, oh my God, I've never been so hot. My nose was burned. It was stifling, but beautiful.
It is. If you do go to, we actually, sorry, Matthew, go back. The actual port that we sailed into was La Spezia, which is
not part of Cinque Terre.
Not part of Cinque Terre. It's actually designated for Pisa, but a little bit like, and a lot of the European cruises, regarding the ports, they're obviously labelled as one thing. So if you think about Venice is labelled as something else, but it's about an hour away. It's really typical in Europe that you'll go into a particular port, it'll be labelled as like, see, we didn't even actually sail into Marseille. We sailed into somewhere else, didn't we? And there's normally about an hour's difference on average between where you disembark to where the main attraction is. So Pisa was an hour and 25 minutes away.
Yeah.
A little bit like Southampton and London. Anybody's had the privilege or you've sailed into Southampton, they call it Southampton, London. Well, as a Londoner, it's nowhere near London. It's from, I would say it's probably, looking at the drive, probably for Floridians, it's probably from like Melbourne up to Daytona. It's a distance. Anyway, so Pisa is an option. And if you want to go and do the generic hand up of the Pisa Tower.
Yeah, Leaning Tower of Pisa. Then
I don't want to put anyone off, but we've had Leanne's been there. My daughter's just been there literally last week. I will honestly say that apart from that picture,
there isn't a lot to do there.
Yeah, there isn't a lot.
You can climb up the Leaning Tower.
Yeah, you can.
You can go into the church, but I've done it, and it is a long way to go just for that picture. So we decided to do the Cinque Terre, and if people can Google it, then if you get to Italy, it is well worth the trip.
But beautiful place.
Italian pasta. I had Italian pesto. We had an Italian. It's not ice cream, is it? Gelato.
Beautiful.
It was
roasting
idyllic.
Hot,
just so beautiful. Not a lot, no beaches. It's all cliff face. There was places you could get in the cliffs or in the water. Craig wasn't allowed to swim, and I didn't have my swim stuff. But if you do it in the height of season, take your swim stuff because you're dry in seconds. My daughter's in the chat, and she's actually just texted me. She has also just been to Italy, and she wanted to let you know, top tip, mozzies in August, July and August are abundant. Her and her partner have come back with 25 bites each.
Mosquitoes,
mozzies,
mozzie
bites, mozzie bites, mosquito bites. Take some mozzie spray if you're coming to Europe in the summer. Sorry, I was reading Cruising Chris.
Yeah, that's okay.
Look for parenthesis on the itinerary. It was the big city with the port. Yes. It does. And it's just worth doing your research as to how long the big city is away and how you get there, how easy it is. If you want to do so, Royal Caribbean do a lot of Pisa Your Way will be the excursion. It'll be $50 and it'll be a coach that drops you in the center of Pisa and picks you up 4 hours, 5 hours later, and then you come back. So that you can always get there, but sometimes oh, sorry. Heather Lee didn't know what a mozzie was. A mosquito. So there is always
not a mozzarella dipper. Although we do love mozzarella dipper. I'd like to come home with 20 mozzarella dippers.
Yeah, that would be nice. That'd be lovely. There is always ways to get there yourself, but they can be a bit more time consuming.
But he's absolutely exactly right. Just build that in and understand what it is. And I think the balance is always the travel time getting to where you want to get to in terms of, have a look at your port times, how long are you there? And certainly if there's a travel, like you said, we only do half day and anything above. And certainly if there's more than an hour's travel back to where we're going, then we'd always choose, to go on a cruise company excursion because you've got that protection.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They were our ports. So we only saw 2 out of 4. But I do have to say we are very blessed in that when we did our transatlantic, we had.
I'm going to jump. We are blessed because we've got Europe on our doorstep.
Well, also,
but flip side, they live in America and they've got cruise ships everywhere. We have got little Southampton or maybe don't. So I'm not going to feel that bad for them.
What we are blessed because we did the transatlantic.
Oh, sorry, apologies.
The transatlantic included 5 stops in Europe. So this one for us was an added bonus, like I said at the beginning about why we chose it. Craig hadn't been well. It was more of a relaxation trip for us than it was a sightseeing one. The transatlantic, we'd done a lot of sightseeing, so you can find out about the ports on YouTube, but unfortunately we didn't make the most of them on this cruise.
No, we didn't.
For various reasons.
No, we didn't. No, but
then we're on the world's biggest cruise ship on its Inaugural.
I was going to say, wasn't the ship itself a destination?
Absolutely it was, and that's what we decided to embrace this time,
which we wouldn't normally do.
No, we're always about getting off.
They are very much, I think there is people in two different ports, isn't there, or two different camps, should I say, more so, but the destination is the itinerary, or the ship is, for a lot of people, would have absolutely been, for argument's sake, just to give you an example, we did share it. Marseille, we was expecting a lot more. We obviously, because we stayed on the ship, we was expecting to be, this lovely, serene. Loads of people get off. I'll have the ship to ourselves, almost, and it wasn't the case. There's quite a lot of people that chose not to get off Marseille. Whether that's because its reputation preceded it, not sure. But
I don't think that. I think the legend, and this kind of brings me into my final thoughts on the ship as well. The Legend is a family ship. Absolutely. It's for families with any age children. It is incredible. And why you would go anywhere else and not do a cruise, it blows my mind when you've got children. And I think if you've got a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, are they really going to be interested in necessarily going around a city and that sort of element? If you've got a zoo or a water park or a beach, and Marseille's not like that. So I think a lot of them chose with their children to stay on and enjoy the ship. And I also think that they booked it because the ship gave them so much.
Oh, absolutely.
So why spend any more money getting off?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
just reading Cruising Chris's comment, he'd like to do a round trip transatlantic on Cunard and stay in England or somewhere for a week. That would be incredible.
It'd be interesting to hear.
If I could do Cunard, because
I don't think we could.
But I'm like, I am not that fancy, folks.
No, we're rough and ready.
Well, pretty much what you see is what you get.
It depends, ironically, though, on what ship, because the newer ships are the demographic is changing. The Queen. I'll get this right. The Queen Anne 2, the demographic, they've changed that ship dramatically, and they're trying to come away a little bit from, excuse the terminology, but a stuffy, morning suit meal every night.
Okay.
They're trying, because they're a Carnival-owned company. There is, I think they're trying to buck the trend a little bit, but as Cruising Chris said, it is the true transatlantic crossing, but we did it, we loved it, not on Cunard, we did it on Royal, but hey, if you do come over, Chris, we're more than happy, like we've done with some of Plum Crazy's customers, more than happy to give you some advice, being Londoners as well, if you want to stay in the best city in the world.
And we do know a lot about the rest of the UK.
Yeah, we do know.
We
Absolutely.
do.
Yeah. I want to come over. I want to tour a little bit of Ireland, a little bit of Scotland, a little bit of Wales, because a good part of my family heritage is in those 3 areas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think if you're going to come over, then hold on.
Sudbury.
Sudbury is in Sudbury in Middlesex, Sudbury.
Whereabouts is Sudbury? What Sudbury are you talking about?
Yeah,
oh, Ellie, don't talk about Greg's again. We did this on JC's live stream. We told everyone about Greg's and sausage rolls.
Yeah, I think we see it a lot, and obviously when we get a lot of Americans generally come across, and rightly so. When you come this far, you want to make the most of it, and on all them 3 places, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, they're all stunning. They really are. There's obviously some not so nicer bits, but it's beautiful. So you'd love it.
I think I remember Heather Lee asking about this Sudbury before. Heather Lee, is it Sudbury and Middlesex or Sudbury and Suffolk? I think she said she had family in Suffolk.
And the reason we say that is if it's Sudbury, it's about half an hour down the road from us. There you go. Because
it's Sudbury and Middlesex, about half an hour down the road. Yeah.
Well, you guys have been an absolute blast. So do you have any final thoughts about legend that you want to share? Here's a curveball. Was there anything you didn't like outside of the infinite balcony?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think when we walked on, our initial thoughts were, oh my God, we're going to love this ship. We're going to love it. And we actually did love it. We had a fantastic experience, but I don't like the fact it didn't have a solarium. That is a massive one for me. And I also don't need to go on a ship that is so geared towards families. And that's not that I'm against it, because if I was to go with my nieces and nephews, that would absolutely be the ship I chose, my ship of choice. I just don't need Thrill Island. I don't need Surfside. I don't need that. So for me, the Oasis class beats it.
Yeah, I think. Well, I think exactly. I think it for as an avid loyal to Royal Cruiser, I think it's got to be on your bucket list.
Yeah,
personally.
I agree.
I think obviously with MSC bringing out their newest ship, which is another mega ship, I think that's the trend for some of them. So I do think I think people who are fan of cruises, I think you need to try them. But I do think that it comes with a big asterisk, and certainly, and you've just said it. I believe, and I know we are very biased, but I think Royal do an amazing job because of the way they set these ships up in a neighbourhood, Matthew. They got to do an amazing job of moving people around, and it never, ever does feel too busy or doesn't feel too family.
No.
Unless, if you go into Surfside, which is for the younger families, of course, you expect it to be full of kids.
Yeah.
So none of it was.
None of it was me going, oh my God, these kids, because I went on a family cruise ship.
Yeah.
Royal don't say it's anything but that.
No, absolutely.
They say it's a family destination, and I could not agree more. If you have children that are of the age that from teenager down to toddler, I would implore you to go on an Icon class.
Yeah.
I just don't need it. I'm just not at the time in my life that I need that.
Yeah, but actually, one of the bits that we loved the most was seeing little pockets of, younger teenagers
being brilliant.
We loved to see them, obviously very safe, and they weren't running amok, but they were just being kids, running in little areas, and it was so lovely to see. I must say, it was really nice. The only thing that I will say, for the first time in any of our cruises, we stayed in cabin 9636, so midship, really good deck, and we could absolutely hear
people running up
the
and down
kids
the
running
corridor.
up and down the corridor, and that's the first time. So that really is the only real clear indication that it was. It was just a bit.
It was just a different demographic. And I think if you take, and I mentioned the transatlantic, but we did the transatlantic on the Explorer, which is a Voyager class, isn't it?
It is.
So we've gone from one of the smallest to one of the biggest. And I think it was quite a culture shock for us. We were a bit like, oh my God, I've gone from knowing everyone on this ship, or at least seeing them a few times, to just children. And there wasn't many children on the transatlantic. Now, that's our problem because we went on a family cruise ship and they didn't cause me any problems, but I like my solarium with my book and my Serenity. That would be my final thought.
My final thought, tip, etc., would be two things. There's one word that encompasses med cruising and the Icon class ship, and both of them is planning.
Mm-hmm.
You've really got to do your planning for the Icon class to get the most out of it. All of the shows, and they're amazing. A lot of the restaurants, you need to do booking early. You need to plan ahead and get the most out of your cruise on the Icon, because it can become so overwhelming. There's the size of the Royal Promenade is pretty much double what it would be on any other, even on an Oasis class ship. So on the ship, plan, reserve. And the same has to be said. If you choose to do a European med sailing, you need to do your research as well. And I think what I'd say is got to do it, do your research, you won't be disappointed that you've done like anyone. You can't get off an icon class ship like that.
I loved it, and there'll be things I genuinely miss about it.
I think BK has just said it, like you, Matthew, with you going to Disneyland. Disney World. To get the most out of it, you need to plan.
Yeah.
Liz, again, tremendous tools. There's TikTok, there's YouTube. Every port we go to, we put into YouTube, and we're like Marseille port, and we watch it and we make an informed decision.
Yeah.
So I would agree. The things I'll miss on the Legend that other ships don't have is the Pearl Cafe and the Aquadome Market.
That's the only way.
They're the only things I'll miss.
And Cruising Chris has just said it. One thing that will put an awful lot of people off, and I think it's absolutely right that it does, is that ship cost £3 billion to make, and they're trying to get every penny of it back.
Yeah.
So it's not a cheap hobby. Yeah. It's not a cheap thing to do.
I don't think they'll start coming down. Well, Cruising Chris just said he's going end of 2027 because it looks like the prices might be going down.
Yeah.
But I think when they bring like a Discovery class out, you might see the icon start go down. I don't know.
Hero's coming out next year. That might drop icon down. Who knows? But yeah.
Well, there's another Oasis class due to hit yet too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they got icon Oasis 7 coming. And it's but we really appreciate you giving us the opportunity to come and.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming on. Go tell everybody where they can find you on the socials.
So
Insta, TikTok, and Facebook. We're at Flip Flopping Adventures with no G, and then at Flip Flopping Adventures on YouTube. And we've put 4 videos up so far about our Legend sailing.
Yeah.
And there's one more to come.
It won't be this Sunday, unfortunately, because we're trying to. But yes,
there's
we've got a lot of other exciting stuff to come up. But similarly, flipfloppingadventures@gmail. If you do have any questions about. Certainly, Leanne, ironically, we've never said this before, is a Royal Caribbean guru, which means that in terms of the actual recognition of Royal, in terms of training.
So I am an independent travel agent, but only to book our own holidays.
Yeah, we don't book other people's.
I was a travel agent many years ago. I don't book anyone else's. I just book my own. And as part of that, I got to do their accredited training. So I'm a Royal Caribbean guru and a Virgin Voyages. I'm at their highest level as well. So if anyone has any questions about travel, planning, Europe, London, we're here. Just message us on the socials or at gmail.com.
And categorically, we have no interest in selling.
No, I'm not selling anything. No,
none of that. We
don't have time.
We just want to help you guys. So and same as with Matthew, in the comments, if there's any questions, anything we can help. It's been amazing, and thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, my pleasure. And if you guys are watching in the replay, make sure you put your comments and stuff in there because we'll see those too.
Yeah, we will. And we'll keep an eye on them and we'll come back to you if you've got anything in there.
Well, Craig, Leanne, I really appreciate you guys coming on. Thank you so much. I'm blessed that you were willing to be a part of this.
Absolutely.
I haven't heard too many people do this kind of format when it comes to these newer ships. So I'm kind of hoping that'll help pull a little support for all of us as well.
Absolutely.
And share if you can, because Matthew, thank you for everything you do for this and other channels and Chase and because we'd really we do appreciate you and what you do.
Yep.
And we're all trying to grow, and it's not about anything other than sharing
to meet new people.
Yeah, sharing our love and sharing the information and what works and what don't. Cruising is so individual, but it's great to talk anything, any vacations, any cruises. We'd love to
and
come
all
on
people in the chat that we don't know. I think Liz said it's the first time she's seen us, so nice to meet you. It's just lovely to make new friends
and come back. You got Malibu, so if you think we're something, Malibu's next week. He's on another level. Malibu, so
and Malibu is literally everywhere. Pretty much any cruise channel I go on, he shows up. Cruising Chris shows up.
Yeah,
there's a few others that are just everywhere, and I appreciate every one of them for even spending a few seconds to come in here. So
Chris, just to finish, he's asked us. Leanne's going to Washington in October. Unfortunately, we are coming back over to the States next year. It won't be till July, and unfortunately, in one hand, unfortunately, well, it is a little bit. We're not doing a cruise next July. We're off to Costa Rica for 10 days or so, and then we're coming back into one of our favourite spots, which is Cocoa Beach. And we're staying in Cocoa Beach for another 7 days or so. So next July is when we'll be back stateside.
If anyone is in that area location, we are going to be meeting up with Chase.
Yeah.
We are going to try and get a lunch together, a picnic. We can meet at Jetty Park. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyone is in that area or wants to come down and meet us, it would be incredible.
I may have to accidentally take a weekend off and come down.
Well, yeah. If it wasn't too far away, we'd jump in the car. But yeah, absolutely. So that's when we're over, Chris, and we get to meet anyone in the cruise community. Then it's always a wonderful thing. So appreciate your time, and we appreciate you and bless you, Matthew.
My pleasure. My pleasure. And friends, for those of you in chat or watching on the replay, thanks for doing so. I appreciate everything you do for this channel. Don't forget, I've got a Patreon account. If you just look at the bottom of the description of my channel, there is a link there. And there'll also be one here rolling in a second that you can freeze. And if you want to support us that way, that would be very helpful. So thanks again. We'll see you next week when Malibu's here. We'll talk about the cuisine on cruise ships. Until then, have a blessed week, my friends.
Take care,
we'll talk to you soon.
Hey.